Hello, I'm Felicia Vereen, always known as Fee.
Hey, Fee, and I'm your girl, Sharita 3, better known as Fred.
And we are Inspire Her, the Total Woman podcast, all about uplifting you.
Yes.
Because friends, face it, you are awesome.
We'll be chatting up about topics we love to talk about. All the things we as women must juggle every day and the ish we complain about. But who's listening? Girl,
we'll chat about the struggle, the job, and about him. You know who we talking about.
Girl.
That boo, husband, boyfriend, ex, whatever you calling them today. Our lovely hellions, kids.
Our angels. But seriously, friends, life happens, and we don't always get a chance to talk about it. We take it on the chin and we keep it moving.
Because that's what we were told to do.
Yep.
But here on Inspire Her, the Total Woman podcast with Red and Fee, we are the friends you love to hang out with. We are here to inspire her, the Total Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Fee.
Yeah. Hey, girl. I feel like I've been gone for months.
You have been. We have been.
I feel like I've been gone for months, and then we took a break, but we're back.
Life be life, and we are back.
Been a lot. Life definitely be life.
Yes. So we will take a minute to share to our pages.
Yes.
Are you able to do it?
I cannot do it today because I am on my phone, which
I think it goes to your page anyway.
Yeah, it goes to my page. I just share it to some groups. But for those people who will be watching, please share because we have some very interesting topics. We have a very interesting topic today. And we would hate for y'all to miss this.
Absolutely.
I've been kind of, while she's sharing, I'll tell y'all, I've been kind of out of pocket a little bit because I'm home in my home city, Richmond, Virginia, taking care of my dad, some things for my dad. And, I was just telling Red, when you're kind of out of your daily habit, it kind of gets to you because you have that little daily habit that you do. And it's like, man, like you wake up and you're like, okay, what I'm supposed to do now?
Yeah, I think
just that schedule.
Yeah, not sleeping in your own bed either.
Yes. Not, not having to go and get all the stuff that you need and, your little, even down to little snacks. It's like,
yeah,
I don't have what I need, but that's okay. Everything is good now, and we back on here, and we have a lovely guest.
We do.
That Red is going to tell you about.
All right, guys, this is Kamilah Susnshine Foster. She was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, in the house. She's a devoted wife, ordained minister, published author, actress, singer, songwriter, and a podcaster. And so her podcast is on every Tuesday and Thursday. Her podcast is called Keeping It Real, Conversations with Sunshine, and she's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch, where she has guests on to help tell their stories and promote their gifts and talents. This is a true dream come true being a part of this awesome production. Kamilah's tagline is, "You are a person. You are one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny." So Kamilah is awesome. She also interviewed me for Three, Dante and I, a few weeks ago. So that's how I actually met her. And her story was like so amazing and impactful. I was like, you need to come and do our podcast. And she agreed and took time out of her busy schedule to be with us. And we really appreciate you.
And here we are.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Well,
one thing I wanted to say before we get started is me and Red, things happen for a reason. Me and Red did not plan this, guys, but look at our t-shirts. Hers says, "But God," and mine says, "But God." So to me, that's a sign. Whenever you need help, whenever you need anything, God is not going to let you fail.
Exactly.
God will always be there in your corner.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I just had to throw that in there real quick. So Miss Sunshine, what you got for us tonight? Tell us a little bit about what you have and new things that you have going on. I wanna
Oh, it's so much. I don't even know where to begin. Well, like the bio said, I am from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised, been here all my life. I did venture out. I lived in Huntsville, Alabama for 9 years. And then I came
Okay.
back to, as you stated, I came back to take care of my parents. Both my parents were sick at the same time. I'm currently still taking care of my mom. My dad has passed away. But them getting older, me being the oldest, I had to do what I had to do. I didn't feel that it was nice of me to live it up in Alabama, having the best time of my life, and my parents are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to move back here and take care of them until it's time for me to venture back out and live my life for me.
Mhm.
Amen. So,
Mhm.
with all that being said, I have definitely been gifted to make people comfortable. That is definitely from God. When you have been in a space where you haven't been comfortable or you haven't had the best encounters with people, you want to turn that around and give that to other people of making sure that they're comfortable, making them feel like they're a celebrity, making them feel loved in whatever way that is, whether it's letting them know that they're dope. The person next door, the kid down the street or around the corner, all of us have something that is important, and I need all of it. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So my podcast started in 2020 during the pandemic. It was a way for me to reach out to people to say, "Hey, I care." We
Mhm.
end up having conversations on the show for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. You get to talking and having a good time. You don't pay attention to time. And so we're having conversations of asking them, how did they start? How was their childhood? What did they overcome? What advice do you want to give to the people? What have you done? Are you in an entertainment world? Did you play an instrument? Whatever it is, the world needs to have that. I'm in need of you, like you young ladies here. Whatever it is that you do, I need that to, put in my back pocket for later or something I can use right now. It's not happenstance that you both had on But God t-shirts. I'm all about that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm an ordained minister,
Wow.
singer, songwriter, dancer, actress. I am currently in school, going back to college to do a degree in theater. Um, yeah, I got big dreams.
I
Oh
see. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with
Oh
that. Tell
yeah.
me about some of the books that you have and what inspired you to write those books.
Well, I started off, I'm going to start from the beginning of the part. I've always been writing since elementary school. Back then, I had no clue and no idea that you can actually make a career out of writing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's all sorts of forms of writing. Of course, we have the authors and books, and then we have movies and all this. I was not thinking that a writer can make that type of money, right?
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, I just do this as a passion, writing poetry and poems and different stories, but I ain't think nothing else about it. My father got sick. He was a kidney patient for 18 years, and he died on the table, believe it or not, several times.
Mm.
And he came back and he had a message for me from God. He said, God said, write the vision and make it plain.
Mm.
My father put a note to it and said, go back to your first love, which was writing.
Mhm.
And so the day um we had the funeral, and I promised my dad, that I would finish and start and finish a book. So the first book that I actually published was God's Blueprint, Getting Back to the Beginning.
Mm.
And it was the journey of getting back to the original state with me and God, because I had got off course.
Wow.
Trying to be everything to everybody, not doing what I'm supposed to do, because I'm trying to put fires out over here, trying to be savior, trying to do all of this stuff. And God was like, see, that's why you stressed out. That's why your body going through all these changes, because that ain't what I asked you to do. So I had to, get back to the beginning. This current book that I have right now, Can Prayer Change Things?
Absolutely.
Yes. So
absolutely.
This book was actually written in 2010. But at the time, I had no clue, no idea what to do with it, who to give it to, what, I didn't know nothing. So how this story came about, let me get comfortable. So at the time, I'm working for Toyota. And this is around the time that all three companies, Ford, GM, everybody was shut down. So Toyota had a thing that I would never lay any of my employees off again. So instead of having us at home, they had us come in on our regular shifts. We cleaned and we came up with ideas that once the shop is back up, make improvements to the shop. So in those time period, I can't remember how long we were down, but this book was done in 3 months. So when the story of the Bible talks about how they were inspired by God himself to write these, whatever God is saying, this is how I felt this book was developed. I was writing, but I felt like somebody else was writing for me. If that makes sense. I felt like I was there, but I wasn't there. So when I would go back and read it, and I was like, wait, that came from me? Are you sure? Because I don't know. I would let people read like the first chapter and they couldn't read anymore. And I said, what's wrong? How did you know? How did I know what? What are you talking about? This is my life story. Like, wait, what? What? We ain't never talked. How would I know that this was your life story? So really, it's not as a religion book. Even it asks the question, can prayer change things? Don't ever give up on your loved ones. No matter what they're doing, where they at in the world, don't give up. Keep praying, right? But this book is actually, so God said to me while we're on the line, hey, where's all the prayer warriors at? You are God, right? You know better than anybody. I don't know. He said, well, let me ask you something. How did a pimp and a prostitute become who they are? God, I don't know. He said, well, I want you to research. I want you to figure it out. Because I'm sure nobody as a kid said, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a pimp or a prostitute.
Right.
So what happened? So sometimes we get into a place where we always trying to judge people for where they are now. Did you ever ask yourself, how did they get to that place? Better yet, are you doing anything to help them? Did you give them a choice to say, hey, this ain't the way? There's another way? No, you didn't. You judged with everybody else. So the story is you're following the life of a pimp and a prostitute and everybody they encounter. Now, can or did prayer change things? Now, for y'all in this world, get the book and find out.
Where can they get the book?
The book is on Amazon. Both books are on Amazon. You can put my name in, the title, the code of the book, and it'll come up. So I thank y'all in advance for getting the book. You can find me on all social media and ask me questions. Tell me how you like to read, because when I tell you, I promise you, I didn't write it. I wrote it, but I didn't write it.
Right.
That was definitely God, for sure.
How did you become an ordained minister? Like, what motivated you to do that, or like that was your calling?
You would ask me that, right?
Yeah.
So I believe it's always been there. It's just like you get to a place where nothing else is working. You tired of doing you, right?
Right.
And he saved me too many times from me. Because you get into a place where you just doing what you want to do. You hard-headed. You want to go. God told you to go right, and you want to go left. Like, hey, God, I'll get back to you. This time around, he said, I'm going to save you again. Stay out them streets. Get in the house. If you go outside, stay on the porch. Because this time you might not come back. So I had to get to a place where I'm comfortable with, okay, I have no choice. You have literally created me to do a purpose. What is that purpose? So in that surrendering and saying yes to God, I was then called and ordained to be a minister, not realizing that I've been doing this all along, even without a title. So the call and purpose to help people, because he told me when I started this show in 2020, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine, he said, I'm going to use you and you're going to be the help that you once needed. Sometimes you just need a smile.
Yeah.
You ain't got to say nothing to me. Sometimes you just need a hug. You just need a listening ear. You just need a connection from one person to another to get you to the next step. Once I understand what the assignment is, I do that and I let it go. It's up to you. You want it, go get it.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell people all the time, and people don't seem to realize that. You got to be your number one fan. You got to be your number one person that supports yourself first, because a lot of times we say, oh, mom, dad, y'all don't support me, or friend, you don't support me, but you got to sit down and think up here, write out the plan, and just get to work. Once people see you starting to get to work, they'll join in and push you, support you, but if you're not doing it, why am I gonna stress out about helping you along? You gotta want it. Like you said, you gotta want it. That is so true.
Yeah.
And that part you just said was definitely, once you start just stepping out and people understand what's the goal, they'll get along and they'll push you, they'll support you. I always talk about my fans are called the village. I grew up in the village, so therefore I can't do this by myself at all. I need y'all.
Right.
I'm not, big head crab in a bucket type person at all. A lot of times people are confused, like you have a hidden agenda. I don't. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't, God still is. I want you to be blessed because you chose to be a part of it. But even if you don't, God still is going to do what he going to do with or without you.
Absolutely. What have been some of the most rewarding things doing your podcast? Like, what's rewarding about it? What's challenging about it? And it takes commitment to be on here. You do it 2 days a week. Yeah. So if you don't feel good, you're tired, you're sleepy, you don't have the energy, what pushes you? What drives you to continue to do it? I probably asked about 3 questions, but yeah.
So the why is I love learning about new humans. I get a kick out of it. And then when you have a conversation with somebody, you realize that you are more alike than you are different. And
Very
literally,
much so.
it's 6 degrees of separation. I know somebody probably in your circle you had no idea that I knew. And then the circle becomes smaller because now we're more connected to one another. Just like I don't do interviews, first of all. Conversations with one another open up another door for us to be here today, which is going to open up something else for somebody else who sees this, or I don't know, but it happens all the time. I thought it was a freak accident that this thing was happening this way, but then it became a mantra, like, it is what it is.
Right.
You have to show up regardless if don't nobody else show up. So the thing is, take naps, take care of yourself, get back up, get yourself beautified, and go ahead, because they're looking forward to having a conversation with you. You have no idea. All day we've been waiting to hear, what do you have to say? And it, for me, is never me. It's what God has to say. He ministers every time to every guest that's on here. They have no clue and no idea that they're being ministered to, because guess what? Ministry is not the same all the time. Just because
You're
I'm
right
a
about
minister,
that.
it doesn't, I don't have to minister to you from a pulpit. I'm just being me. So that would be the most rewarding, that people are comfortable and they can open up and talk about things that they've never talked about in front of anybody. They can cry, male and female. It doesn't matter, because God is going to get the glory out of every conversation. It's about him. It never was about me. And so the, I guess, challenging part, it would be, the finance of everything, the monthly bills about it. But at the end of the day, long as I do what God tells me to do, he has the money. He'll do what needs to be done. So it will be taken care of. So it never will stop. The goal is to take the show to TV land. So I think, and be like the next Ellen DeGeneres or somebody we ain't never seen before.
Right. That's good stuff. That's good
Be
stuff.
the next Sunshine.
Exactly.
You ain't got to be Ellen DeGeneres. You start your own genre
Absolutely.
of doing things. And I can say the same thing for me and Red. We started this thing because we were each other's support. And we just said, you know what? Other people might need to hear this, that's going through some of these same things and don't have anybody to talk to. Because you know how you start listening to podcasts, or you start, watching a show or something. And even though you may not have anybody to talk to, those people become your friends.
Absolutely.
You never seen them before, you never been in their presence, but it feels like that person is your friend because they're talking about some of the same things that you've been through, but you've not been able to talk to anybody about it. So I totally understand that. Definitely.
Yeah. So when you have guests on, they start talking about personal issues for them or their journey. It helps everybody else that's listening. So people who just lost loved ones, we have conversations that most of us never heard of until it was that time. Like having insurance, making sure that your parents at this point will have, do they want to be revived? Things that we don't really taboo, especially in Black culture, that we don't talk about that stuff. I've gave my mama the whole a year ago. She never still didn't fill it out, because in her mind, yes, I want a funeral, I want to wear this dress, I want this and that, but all that extra stuff, she don't want to talk about it. We're not saying that it's coming tomorrow, but we still need to be prepared. Even into we not fighting over your stuff. You gonna tell us who,
right,
who, what, that, because I seen it. And so
Yeah.
people would come on the show and talk about the reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is
that
what
thing
it
right
is.
there that parents don't understand, and what you said, it makes it, because you're going to already be mourning. You're going to
Right.
already be feeling bad. And that makes it easier for you to cope.
Cope,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So that is something that, I'm gonna talk to my mom and dad about, because it makes it so much easier. If you got it written down, I have to think about it.
Nope. You just
Yeah.
read the will and go from there. When my father passed, my mom didn't want to do anything but show up. My
Mm-hmm.
dad's wishes was to be cremated. Some of the family didn't like that, but hey, that's what my daddy wanted.
Mm-hmm.
A
Right,
lot of conversation is y'all don't understand. Cremation is a lot cheaper than putting you in the ground.
right.
And so my dad was like, he said what he wanted. After whatever was left, we was supposed to split it. That was it. That was his wishes, and that's what we carried out. He even had, my dad was a collector of GI Joes, and so he wanted the the fathers, the sons, to have his GI Joes to stay in the family. They were still in the boxes,
Oh wow.
never touched. So as we know, over time, these things will collect later.
Mm-hmm.
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 And so he had his wishes of what he wanted to do with his things. So the conversation is might be hard. It might take them a moment, but these things need to be discussed. Um, the insurance policies, how that goes. We had people on there just got done, going through these things and like, hey, you need to check this off because you don't want to go through the heartache that I had to go through, looking around trying to find policies, all types of stuff. That you don't want to go through these things. So the hard conversations, people being abused, those who were dealing with narcissists, male and females, dealing with physical abuse, dealing with diseases in your body, all these type of, you name it, we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
From professional doctors that we didn't talk about vaginas, okay? A whole show about vaginas. Because I felt
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of stuff that we learned as females, we learned in error.
Mm.
And I had
That's
a
the truth.
doctor come on and talk about our vaginas.
Mm-hmm. I think we
So
have to do at some point. So yeah,
You
that's
giving us you
important.
giving us topics. Keep
listen,
going.
we had regular doctors. Like we need to talk. Like a lot of stuff we have learned in error, we have passed on to our daughters, and we
Mm-hmm.
was so off, way
Mm-hmm.
off.
Right.
Um, so these things I don't take for granted of adults. I have kids on my show that we need to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be their biggest cheerleader. You know how much stuff that they're up against?
Oh
So
wow.
when they want to talk, they want to show, they want to broadcast, whatever, I'm listening
Mm-hmm.
because it is so much worse than what we had to deal with. We're saying,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I would beat a bully up. Would you? What did you do when you were bullied?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when you were, the one that they talked about all the time because your parents couldn't afford what everybody else was wearing? These kids got social media, they
Mm-hmm.
got games, they got all this stuff that we didn't have to deal with so much when we were growing up.
Right.
So again, the conversations, you doing good, you winning awards, you being honored, whatever. Let's talk about it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
put you out there. The world needs to know who you are. They put
Right.
everything else out there. Let's broadcast positivity. How about that? The majority of the people I have on my cast is Black males. Why?
Mm.
Because the media always want to show the negative. I know plenty of Black men who's getting it done. Married, not
Right.
married, single fathers getting it done. Ain't no woman around. It's the man. Don't tell me it don't exist. You a lie. So again, you doing, you got a book out, you in a movie, you You got new music. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got to go to Hollywood. We are Hollywood. What?
Right,
We got
right.
to go to LA. We ain't got to go to Atlanta. We ain't got to go nowhere. It's right here. What you talking about? You want to write books? Come talk to me. I'll
Write it.
help you.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even going to
Write
charge
it.
you. Because freely he gave it to me. Freely I'm going to give it to you. Now what you going to do with it?
I know that's right, because a lot of people, you got to pay them for that information and
Absolutely.
access.
I ain't trying to, no. Freely God gave it to me. Freely I'm going to give it to you. Now what you going to do with the knowledge that I just gave you? Ain't
Problem
no
is
more
some people
excuses.
sit on it. People
No more
sit on
excuses.
the information.
It's too easy. It's too easy. Like back in the day when we had to like go and actually get things edited and all this other stuff, go hand this, hand that. Word got an editor in it. There's programs that can go over your manuscript, whatever you want to call it. There is no
It's
more.
no excuse now because you can
None.
write it. You know, you got AI now that even on Facebook
Yeah.
that
Yes.
will rewrite your words to make it sound
Makes
better.
that right. If there is no excuses, just do it. You'll feel better.
Mhm.
I promise you. And then it'll get addictive. Like, oh, I did it once. Now I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna do it better than I did the last time. I'm gonna find a way to make it cheaper, but it's gonna be worth it. This second book I did by myself
Okay.
from start to finish. I incorporated Fiverr. I got somebody to design my book, formatted it all together. And when it came back, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Oh, that's beautiful. Now I got you in my. So when the next one come, me and you already got a relationship.
Be an
Right.
author too. Be, how many books have you written?
I've written one by myself and I've written two with a collaboration of women.
I got a couple of
So
those
yeah,
too. That's
it's
what I was
not
about to say
hard.
too. I'm gonna shout out Ozell Wells. So me and Ozell went to the University of Michigan together. Time passed. We found each other again. And when he says, well, he called me KJ. So Kamilah Johnson was my name then. He'll say, KJ, I know you can write. Let's write something together. Matter of fact, we already have an idea of what we're going to talk about, which was love. So there were several authors in the first book that I was just a collaboration with. Then the second and third book, I think it's called Love Speaks. It was less authors, but I was still a part of it. Then it came down to the third, fourth, whatever it was. It was just me and him. So it was love from the perspective of a woman and the perspective of a man. And so we were writing poems about love, different types of love, and our romantic side of love, or what we thought love should look like or feel like, or all these different things. And then he disappeared off the face of the earth.
Mm.
Oh wow.
So he was living in Dominican Republic, and he had MS. And he popped up one day. I don't know what I was doing. I heard him call me, but he didn't physically call me. I heard his voice call me, and I was like, Stacy, I don't think he's dead, because we couldn't find him nowhere. Come to find out, he almost died from the complications of MS. But by this time I'm writing on my own. And sometimes I was letting someone know, even in your moments, do voice notes, keep a journal. You never know how this story is going to come together. Poetry, my personal thoughts and experiences in life was my biggest tools. on how to write my stories. And guess what? Our testimonies are not for us. It's for somebody else. Some of the horrible stuff I went through, it wasn't about me. It never is. It's for somebody else to say, hey, if she went through this and she's still here in her right mind, then I can make it too. I can make it too. Don't this say inspire her?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Don't y'all shirts say but God?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is it coming
Yes,
together for
ma'am.
y'all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering, making sure that you guys understood.
Yeah.
And even some of the stuff that you said is ringing true with me. I'm here with my dad. Been here with him for 2 weeks, and it's a lot going on. And for some reason, when Red called me and said we need to do tonight, and I was like, I felt within me I needed to do this tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it felt like that, but I felt like I need this. First of all, I need to get back to my normal. And two, I just needed the outlet,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And people don't understand that sometimes. Just talking to
It
someone.
helps.
Mhm.
Oh, does it help?
I started talking to a stranger at the Family Dollar because she was looking for something. I was looking for the same thing. And she was saying, I need it for my dad, such and such. And I was like, I need it for my dad too. And we just literally sat there, had a conversation. I kid you not. It was probably almost 30 minutes. We would sit there talking to each other in the Family Dollar.
Wow.
Forgot that we was looking for something on the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
but just talking, and she let me know some things that helped me out, and I let her know some things that helped her out. So, you can't be afraid to open your mouth and just talk. A lot of times we as African Americans, especially women, we've been told, just like our intro says, we've been told to nobody's listening, nobody want to hear your sorrows, just man up, even though we ain't men, and get it together because you got to be strong.
Right.
You ain't always got to be strong. You do
Mm-mm.
not,
Not at
because a lot of times there's somebody that is willing to be strong
With
for
you.
you and with you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you just ain't got it. It's somebody else that can be strong with you. And I'm gonna shout out my friends right now. I'm not trying to take over, but I'm gonna shout out my friends right now because it's 7 of us that went to high school together. And as soon as they found out that I was here and what I was going through, my girlfriend Tanya is in DC, and Red, they're the people that I typically talk to about things. They were there for me to talk to. My girlfriend that I'm staying with right now, I got this whole house to myself and a car to drive. They helped me out. One of my girlfriends came and brought me cleaning supplies from my dad's house, and the other one, we were looking for a mattress, and she stopped what she was doing and found that contact and saved me so much money. Um, and so a lot of times we don't want to bother people with what's going on with us, but sometimes you just open your mouth and you will be surprised
Mm-hmm.
at what will happen just by
Absolutely.
trusting that you have support out there. You know, it's amazing, and I'm talking to everybody who is listening and who will be listening. Sometimes you just gotta let go of what people told you back in the day. Oh, nobody don't want to hear what you got going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. That is not true. And if you meet a person like that, that's probably not your friend.
Right. And everybody ain't being nosy and want to be up in your business. Some people genuinely.
Exactly.
Really want to help.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a conversation the other day. You have to know the person, that there's no hidden agendas. I'm very helpful. I'm a big giver. Because again, I'm supposed to be the help that I once needed. I needed a lot of help on all levels. And I can't
Mm-hmm.
say all the time that I got it. But at the end of the day, when you start talking, again, you realize you're more alike than you are different. Had no clue, no idea. But we're all caregivers. Did I want to be one? No. But at the end of the day, I had to do what was needed. Right? I'm not doing it for a check. I'm not doing it. These are my parents. At the end of the day, they didn't want to take care of me when they didn't want to. They didn't have to. But it was hard because, man, that's dead weight. You got to learn how to carry, pick them up, all of that without hurting yourself. How do you know that? I was there. My dad cried when I had to clean him up. I had to see him naked.
Yeah, that's a
He
lot.
didn't want his grown daughter seeing it. I don't care about all of that. You got to be cleaned up, or you want to go in the hospital again? What we doing? I had to do it. He had to do it. It broke his heart, but guess what? It had to be done. I had to stop doing a lot of things to make sure that they was good. God knows my heart. I promise you he does. It might be like, man, I really need some help. I just need a break to get out the house for just a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you just stay here just for a moment so I can feel like I'm good again?
Right. And
let's talk about it.
Yeah, because the other day I wanted to see Thea. I said, hey, I'm back in town. What you doing? Wanted to see if you wanted to meet somewhere. And she was like, you know what? This is the first moment that I've had a chance to be by myself. I'm just going to take things in, and I just want this time to myself. And you can't do that. I truly understand.
And,
so sometimes you do need to be bold enough to say that and not be that people
not feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
Like nobody, a lot of things our grandparents and great grands, they just did. They didn't talk a lot. A lot of stuff that we go through as women, a lot of people just didn't talk. And I'm like, talk to me, tell me, so I don't have to waste time. I don't have to keep up in my head against the same wall. Help me, please. I beg of you. And, sometimes all that wisdom go down to the grave and nobody tapped in. Yeah. That's not gonna be my story. Hey, help me. Hello. I'm right here. Tell me.
Yeah.
I'm asking for help too, and I'm letting it out. Like Melinda say, it's caring for our parents is a special kind of care. It is. Because especially the men, or the women that very strong and they used to taking care of everybody else, but when they need to be taken care of, a lot of them are stubborn. They don't want to do that. My mom was like, she always said, well, I don't want to live with none of y'all. I don't want to be a burden to y'all. Just put me in a home. Just put me in a good home. It was like, you got 6 kids. There's no way that we're going to have you in a home. But she was like, I don't want to be a burden on my kids, So,
but they don't understand that's not a burden. It's not a burden. You figure it out to where it doesn't have to be.
The thing is, you gotta have help.
Yeah.
The thing is, everybody has to chip in, especially if you're not the only child. Everybody has to help some way. If you're not physically there, hey, send some money, do something, show up. I'm not the only one. Somebody.
It don't always work like that. Now
it don't.
On the top of my head where one person was the sole provider and the other people come in and wave and their help. A lot of people, like Linda said, selfless love, but a lot of people, we don't want to give up our routine. We'll let this person do it, and then you got some of the children that are bossy and controlling, and they want to take over everything. So it's just, depending on what it is. But like you said, I think the parents need to let us know what they want, what their wishes are. My mom must say it, but it'll be like right after somebody else has died or something like that. And I'll keep a mental note of the things that she said, and I'll pass it on to my siblings.
Now, it's time to put that on paper. Like,
Mm-hmm.
ain't no more talking,
Right.
because if something happens without it,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to have to see the sibling rivalry over stuff
Well,
or what they promised, and all. No, we're not doing that.
mm-hmm.
And that's
Um,
why I said you don't want to. Now that's a burden when you
Yeah.
don't have it written down. If you
mhm.
got it written down, this is what mom or dad or grandma said, and this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is their wishes, and that's
Yeah.
it.
That's
And you
it.
and the other thing is, if you have a child that's living in the home with their parent and the parent passes away, that person is expecting to stay in that house. But the mom is like, no. All the other siblings are like, no, we need to sell this house. But you've been living there taking care of mom. Why should I have to move? So it's a lot that goes into it. So it definitely has to be talked about. It's millions of different scenarios that can
Yep.
create and cause problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
then too, and this is going to be a conversation that we're going to have for another podcast. I think we're going to do this next week because it's definitely on my heart because I'm
Yeah.
going through it now. But, you know, I wasn't used to seeing my dad in a certain way.
Mhm.
So in my mind is saying one thing and my heart is saying another. And my mind is saying, well, logically, if he was okay,
You
he
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be
there,
doing this. He wouldn't
right?
be doing this and he wouldn't be doing that. But my heart is saying, I want dad to be happy. So if he said he okay, then I don't want to bother him. But
Mm.
I had to shake myself loose from that and say, my mind is seeing, my eyes are seeing, my mind is knows what's going on and I can hear what's going on and
Mhm.
I gotta do what's right
Listen, that's right.
because, that's a hard thing to do. It's a
Certainly.
very
Glad
hard
you
thing to
said.
do.
I'm glad you said that, because when I was down south and I would call up north, um, one time I heard something different in my mom's voice, and it was like an alert, but not say, "Hey, come home."
Mhm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
read between the lines. It's almost like when you have children, and when they call you a certain way, like, are they in pain? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And so when
Mhm.
I got here, it was so much stuff going on. I was like, if I would have waited another week,
It would have, oh, heck would have.
oh my
You
God.
you
Yeah.
you are speaking of about what
I'm trying to
happened
tell
to
you.
me. You 2 weeks ago that happened to me and I kept saying, "Oh, it's okay. He said he okay." And then I
Mm-mm.
talked to
And
him
then
on the
my mama was
phone.
saying the exact same. We all right. We
Mhm.
okay. Mm-mm.
Because they want to
Mhm.
protect us. They don't want to
No.
work us. Yeah. So they will like, oh, I'm good, and then like you said, once you see it, it's like completely different. You like, okay, and I'm starting over. We wish they would just be honest, but sometimes pride is, I'm gonna call,
Yes.
I'm gonna do it until I can't do it no more, or I'm gonna call you as a last resort. But your last resort creates more stuff for me to have to
What?
get
Come
back.
on now.
Yeah, that's just
Right.
like,
Absolutely. Y'all are speaking
I wanna tell
everything
you,
I just had to go through.
I
wow.
wanna tell you that all is still well. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And you stronger than you think. And when the voice of God talks to you, you listen. I don't
Yeah.
care what is going on, what other people are saying, it don't matter. At the end of the day, you have a relationship with God. God is going to lead you through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Cause I said it the other day, y'all gonna make me cry. But I said it the other day, I was like, I was just sitting right here and I said, God, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, we gotta do a lot of stuff. I'm clueless as to what no, actually I said it before I left Georgia. I said, I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone. I hope my job will let me have this term. I don't know what I'm doing. Um, I said, I just need you to make it happen for me. You know, I will do the work. I just need you to lead me in the right direction, and that is it.
That's it.
And next thing you know, my director came in, and because they've all dealt with it, and she said, yeah, she said, we're going to be off on Memorial Day, and that was a week away at that point. And so it's no reason for you to come back. Just go ahead and stay through a certain period of time, and we'll let you use this time. I'm not
So
gonna miss
also,
any
I
money,
don't know
none
if
of
your
that.
job has FMLA, but even during the times where my dad would have extended stays in and out of the hospital, I had it set up where FMLA, even though you wasn't getting paid for it, but it covered your job. That
I didn't even that's why I said God stepped in because I didn't even have to use that.
okay,
They allowed me to do. Would get up in the morning and do certain things, and then they would text me. I would have, or I have my email on my phone, and anything they needed, I was able to set the computer
okay,
up and do it. They worked with me for 2 weeks.
okay.
I'm leaving to go back home tomorrow. They worked with me for 2 weeks, and then I got here, and some kind of way, I was like, when I saw what I was dealing with, and I have brothers here, so they were able to, help out as well a lot. Um, everything just fell into place. It was like God literally gave
Mm-hmm,
me the one, two, three, do this,
mm-hmm.
this, that, the
Mm-hmm.
other,
Mm-hmm.
and it all worked out. That's why I said I didn't do any of this. I didn't
Right.
do any of this.
Because you saw his
But
guy from the beginning, and he gave you the blueprint.
and it's crazy because I was sitting here and I think I told you, I said, we got to do a podcast about this because
Mm-hmm.
something he put it in my, I got to tell somebody else how to
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I've
Mm-hmm.
got to tell somebody else how to do this, from dealing with veteran affairs to dealing with social
Yes.
services.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
my cousin is online, Melinda Sue. She is an advocate for veteran affairs. She helps
Wow.
people figure out how to deal with veteran affairs and get what's rightfully theirs.
This
Because
Right.
is why
it's a
we
lot.
have these conversations because again, there's people in our circles who can be helpful to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't open up your mouth and say anything,
You
how would they
never
know?
know.
Right.
How
You
would they
never
know?
know.
I mean, you be
Because
like,
I didn't know she did that. I
exactly.
just knew she was a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And I called her. She said, I help people with that. And I'm like, no, I will be calling you because I did not know that.
Absolutely. This is the season the season of information. Like it's too much out here for you not to what? You doing what? You don't know, huh? I'm saying like every job that I've been in, I've taken the information, put it in my back pocket to say, hey, I'm going to use that later. Even if I had to create my own job, I have so many things that I can do, so many tools
Mm-hmm.
that I have inside of me that are waiting to come out. All of this information, how to talk, how to communicate with people, how to connect them to, hello, come on. I don't
Absolutely.
know where this is going to go. All I can say is yes. I am here. Yes. If you need help, yes. I know somebody. Oh, you want to go into the entertainment world? Oh, I just had a conversation with such and such. Oh, you're going to see them shortly. I don't know where it's going to go, but guess what? Open
Mm-hmm.
up your mouth.
Right.
Show the goodness of the Lord and see what happens. Be nice to people. You don't know what doors they can open for
Be
you.
nice to people.
Be nice.
Be nice to
Humble.
people.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't understand that by itself will open up doors.
Goes a
Be
long way.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
You
Speak.
know how many people just did one thing for me this week? I said, "Can you do this one thing for me?" And these are people that I've been knowing since high school. Just being nice,
Mm-hmm.
being a person that's willing to do for others as well. That
Absolutely.
goes far.
It
That
does.
goes I didn't realize how far it went.
I'm going to say this, right? So I have a couple of girlfriends that I'm very, very close with. And one of them cashed out me today out of the blue. And I was like, what is this for? And she was like, because you decided to make a vision board. You think you inspired me or I inspired you, but you're inspiring me. It ain't about the money. It's honey, somebody's watching you. When they know that story that you've been through and they see you now, they like, man, if y'all didn't know who Sunshine is, baby, you about to find out. But she ain't stopping. I refuse to stop. I refuse to quit. I refuse to give anybody my power. When I figured out that I can get out the cage, I got my own keys. What? I wish you better be, listen, you better be lucky. But no, keep going. Whatever your dream is, keep going. Somebody's going to fund your dreams, right? Yeah. Ask God, write it down. If you can see it, right? So my vision board today, I know we wasn't talking about this, but I just want to inspire somebody, right? So I was driving in somebody else's, I was on the passenger side, and somebody's blue. If you know me, you know I love blue. They was in a blue 2023-24 Buick Enclave, right? And I'm all like, oh, this is nice. I think I want this for myself. So what I do today, went on the Buick page. I saw a blue one, a real pretty blue. My current car is blue. Her name is Smurfette. So I was like, Smurfette's gonna have buddy. Smurfette might have Papa Smurf. Maybe. So I went on there. I snipped it. And I was like, I want him. I want her. That's part of the vision. All right. So I've been saying, I want to move. I want to go back out of town. I want to go move to Texas. You know what I was doing? I'm on something on Texas somewhere. I don't even know where I'm going to move to. But however, I was like, let me find my dream home. What do you want in your dream home? I want an island kitchen. I want bay windows. I want this. I want that. And I'm going to find the house that I want. Why not?
Right.
You have not because you asked not. What? My daddy own everything. It ain't nothing on this earth, this world, that my daddy don't own. So why can't I have it? And I'm his child. I'm a favorite at that. Hello?
I like that. I like to say I'm one of his favorites too.
That's so true.
Let me have what I want, and I'm going to get every last one of it. So the point is, if I'm doing a vision, if I can see it, I can touch it, and I can have it. So that means if it happening for me, I said happening. That means it's current happening for me. Guess what? It can happen for you.
Absolutely.
That's right. We're in the same neighborhood.
Very true.
Well, this has been awesome. Tell us how we can find you and how others can find you on your social media.
Oh, I have so many. Where do I want to go? So on Facebook is Susnshine Kamilah, Kamela, even though that's not how you spell my name. But since people jack my name up, that's why it's Susnshine Kamilah, Kamela. Even though my real name is Kamilah, Kamilah. But for whatever reason, people jack that up. So on Instagram, it is Susnshine Kamilah, Kamela, or Keeping It Real Conversations. The YouTube channel, the name of the podcast show is Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. No G, Keepin. Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Same thing on Twitch, same thing on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So therefore, learn your gifts. Don't be afraid. I don't care what age you are. Keep learning, right? So I told you I'm back in college. I'm taking courses to be, I'm supposed to graduate in 2026. So that's on my vision board. Hello. So once I graduate and go across the stage, guess what? I'm going on a cruise and I'm moving. Hello.
All right. On that vision board.
Yes, it's on the vision board.
That's right.
Let's go.
And it's funny because I was just about to ask you if you could leave us with something, and what you said was amazing.
Yes, let's do it. So keep learning. So there's gifts that we still don't even know that's inside of us, right? You think you're just the author? Right. Do you think you're just a podcaster? Do you think you're just a caregiver? Of course you're not. It's more to you. Yes, it is. So guess what? We got to keep on digging. So am I a singer? Am I just a songwriter? Am I just a dancer? Am I just an actress? Am I just a podcaster? Am I just a minister? You see how the list keep going on and on? And I'm only 46. Hello.
That's right.
And the list keep going on. What else am I? What else am I? Let's go. Right. You your own canvas. Okay?
Exactly. I like it. I like that.
Yeah. You are your own.
Well, guys, look, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys for coming on. I'm sitting here listening to her, and I'm thinking about a series that we need to have just on parents. I don't even know what it's gonna be called. Either parents growing older or switching, because I feel like I'm switching lanes right now. I'm becoming a parent and the parent is becoming the child. I hate how that sounds, but hey, it happens. I will tell you this too.
I would also help with my former marriage. I helped with both parents of my ex-husband, the grandmother who eventually had dementia and was going through health challenges. The father was completely disabled. So I know all about that. Like having a whole full-time job, trying to be a wife, and being a home caregiver.
That's a lot.
I mean, the ripping and running, the go to the stores, take you to the doctor, all of that. I understand. And I'm still smiling. So again.
And see, that's gonna be my brother. My brother is here.
Listen, it's not easy, Georgia. But again, you need a village. You really do. You need a village. You need the time out. Hey, I need help. I want to go out. I want to do for me, so I'll still be able to give out. You need, when you're a giver, you need to be poured back into. Hello? So when I was with them, they said, hey, we need a date. Let's go to a spa treatment. Sounds good to me. So we got a spa together, right? And then that rejuvenates. Now I can go to the next level because now I did something for me.
Right.
Don't forget you, honey. Did you hear what I said?
I heard you.
And all of that, don't you forget you. Because if you ain't good, you can't be good to nobody else.
That's the truth.
Now let me turn this thing off. Now I didn't say it too much. They're gonna try to cancel me. I didn't know it.
We are good.
We are here to inspire her, the total woman.
Yay.